I mean, it just sucks that he's had so many controversies in his life, but I'm hoping he puts all that shit behind him.
They don't survive situations like that.
I mean, it sucks that he's had such countless debates in his day-to-day existence, yet I'm trusting he puts generally that behind him. They don't endure circumstances like that because they're so wild and they're living it up something over the top, and they're celebrating in the champion it needs to it. Needs to reach a conclusion that is in the event that you don't finish it will carry it to it, will arrive at his own end undoubtedly that was dropped for various reasons that might have been on new of them yet, the charges that I'm hearing are that they sold scarcely any tickets, that it would be a genuine issue as far as like monetarily to equal break even there. Some awful news on the Jake Paul battle versus Mike Tyson up make a YouTube video, and they show their fighting film, yet we in all actuality do realize this is by the fantasy matchup between boxing legend Mike Tyson and YouTube star Jake Paul has hit a significant barrier following fresh insight about Paul dropping the battle ski dueled for this late spring. As started up, Tyson took to the web to convey a searing message. The video, which immediately circulated around the web, filled in as both a scrutinized and a not so unobtrusive advance notice to the youthful web character when the battle among Tyson and Paul was first reported. It sent shockwaves through the battle sports world. It was a conflict of periods, a fight between a remarkable individual, Iron Mike Tyson, whose fierce punching made him the undisputed heavyweight champion, peon thriving, and a youthful, reckless web character who became well known in VIP bouts. While certain fans were amped up for the oddity of the battle, others scrutinized its authenticity. Might a 50-year-old Tyson, in spite of his new presentation, at some point recover the fiercer structure that ruled the ring, and might Paul, regardless of his enhancements, at any point stand his ground against a heavyweight symbol? Now, with the battle apparently on hold, hypothesis spins out of control. The author righty justification behind the scratch-off stays a secret. A few reports recommend Paul's group communicated worries over Tyson's preparation system, while others indicate potential monetary conflicts. Whatever the explanation, plainly Tyson isn't taking the news well. In his blazing video message, Tyson didn't keep down his voice blast with a blend of disillusionment and outrage. I prepared hard for this battle, Tyson expressed, his unique stutter slicing through the pressure. Regard this game, Jake. This ain't a piece of cake. You could essentially feel the power emanating from the screen. He proceeded to get down on Paul for taking out, scrutinizing his responsibility, and proposing an absence of regard for the game of boxing. Yet the most fascinating part came next. Tyson gave an unmistakable admonition on the off chance that this battle gets rescheduled. He proclaimed, his voice solidifying, I'll be looking great. It won't last a solitary round. This was exemplary. Tyson, that cutthroat fire actually booms brilliantly. This message conveyed an unmistakable message. Father Time might have caused significant damage, yet Tyson's battling soul stays undimmed. Whether this is the last section in the Tyson versus Paul adventure or an emotional plot, unexpected development is not yet clear. There's an opportunity dealings can be resuscitated and the battle goes on as arranged, yet one thing is sure. The hostilities stewing from this trade will possibly stoke the fire, assuming they truly do wind up venturing it to the ring with Tyson promising to be in pinnacle condition. Battle fans could be in for a really dangerous evening, assuming that the battle figures out how to refocus. While the buzz encompassing the drop Tyson versus Paul battle is electric, there is, by all accounts, some falsehood flowing news asserting Jake Paul took out after a severe knockout by Tyson in a confidential competing meeting has all the earmarks of being unwarranted. This is what we realize: the battle's crossing out is affirmed, and Tyson positively is disturbed about it. His new red-hot video message makes that plentifully understood anyway. Reports about a knockout competing meeting appear to be more similar to battle night publicity than truth. There's no trustworthy source checking such a meeting, and honestly, it wouldn't be a savvy move for one or the other group to spill subtleties of a confidential instructional course. The genuine justification behind the wiping out stays cloudy. A few reports propose Paul's group had worries about Tyson's preparation techniques, while others indicate potential monetary conflicts. Anything the explanation, it's reasonable. There's a few string between the camps. While the knockout gossip may be energizing for battle fans, it's ideal to adhere to confirmed hotpots for data. There's yet an opportunity the battle could be reconsidered, and with the enmity stewing after the retraction, it very well may be a considerably more hazardous occasion, assuming that it happens where you go a deal. I 3. You actually need to with me. The adventure encompassing the canal battle between boxing legend Mike Tyson and YouTube star Jake Paul keeps on being a hurricane of hypothesis and shock after the underlying shock of the dropping wore off Paul himself arose with a clarification that left many scratching their heads. Recall the expectation, the possibility of a conflict between times the fight solidified Iron Mike Tyson, a remarkable person and a youthful web character who'd cut a specialty for himself in superstar fights. It was a battle that guaranteed an unstable display, however. At that point came the news the battle was off now. With Paul offering his side of the story, we're getting a brief look into his perspective behind the abrupt shift in direction in a new meeting. Paul offered a justification behind taking out that appeared to go against his typical boasting. Confronting Iron Mike in the ring was something I truly anticipated, he conceded, yet in the wake of getting down metal tax and truly thinking about stepping into the ring with a legend like that, I understood I really wanted a break from boxing. This opinion coming from the reckless persona Paul has developed online gotten numerous monitor. Here was a warrior known for his certainty and strut, communicating a newly discovered regard for the risks and requests of the game. Paul proceeded to expand, uncovering an individual side. Many weren't expecting life tosses, unforeseen punches. You realize he said a smidgen of weakness in his voice. As of late, I became a dad, backing away from the ring to zero in on my family feels like the best choice as of now in my life. This disclosure added another layer involved. Here's a young fellow who accomplished web distinction, surprised the boxing scene with his VIP fights, and presently appears to be prepared to focus on his day-to-day life. Was this a veritable change in Paul's needs or an essential move to divert analysis about the retraction? The truth will surface eventually, the jury actually out on whether this is a certified change in Paul's needs or a determined move to deal with the aftermath from the battle's abrogation. There's additionally the waiting inquiry of the actual battle. Might exchanges at some point be restored with Paul getting back to the ring after a break? Or is this the authority end of the much-advertised Tyson versus Paul adventure? One thing is sure, the volatile between Tyson's red-hot message and Paul's startling declaration has kept battle fans as eager and anxious as ever. While the eventual fate of the battle stays dubious, the dramatization encompassing it has guaranteed that this story is a long way from being done. It will be fascinating to check whether this is genuinely the last round for this uncommon matchup, or then again, on the off chance that there's another unexpected development standing ready. Paul's meeting, anyway, wasn't about parenthood and reflection. There was as yet a flash of the old bluster underneath the surface. Don't get me wrong, he said, a wicked shine in his eye. This doesn't mean I've lost my edge. As a matter of fact, preparing for this battle took me to an unheard of level. Mike Tyson may be a legend, yet we should be straightforward. He's not getting any more youthful. Assuming this battle had gone on, he would have been the one lying on the material gazing toward the lights. This assertion, trickling with an unpretentious presumption, appeared to go against his previous cases about requiring a break from the game. It was an update that the serious fire that pushed him to web popularity actually copies splendidly. Whether this was basically Paul keeping up with his web-based persona or a certifiable confidence in his own capacities, it unquestionably added one more layer in question. Here was a contender apparently pulling back from the spotlight, yet all the while tossing a perky hit at his unbelievable rival. One needs to think about how Tyson responded to Paul's remarks. Did he consider it to be a frantic endeavor to hide any hint of failure after the scratch-off, or maybe a subtle provocation, a commitment of a future confrontation when Paul gets back to the ring? The volatile between these two figures, one a boxing legend, the other a YouTube wonder, has surely caught the public's creative mind. Whether this is the finish of the Tyson versus Paul adventure or simply a sensational delay before the following cycle, one thing stays clear: this battle